not everybody goes up in flames all at once, and people, but and people can be quite crafty in, in rationalizing to themselves, well, yes, as long as, as long as I'm working and supporting myself and my family, this isn't, my problem isn't out of control, but it can be having negative consequences that the person is minimizing by focusing on what they're still able to do. And that, and certainly with marijuana, the effects are not, or the consequences for most people are generally not that dramatic that it is like going up in flames. In some ways, I think our experiment with cannabis, it was probably going to be more similar to what happened with tobacco than, let's say, to what happened with cocaine. That that there will be a few dramatic cases here and there, of somebody who kills their wife after ingesting cannabis, and there are some people who develop a chronic vomiting syndrome, and a number of people whose lives sort of are going nowhere fast, because we see this frequently with late adolescents and young adults who have retreated into their parents' basement and they're holed up there smoking marijuana or taking cannabis in some form or other all day long and playing video games, and have sort of dropped out of life. But so there are, here and there are people who are severely affected. But I think I expect it's going to take time for us to appreciate the long-term effects on many of the people who are dependent, in terms of their function, in terms of how it affects their brain function, and just as it took us a very long time to appreciate the downside and the health risks of smoking tobacco. Well, one that the matter of it being addictive. I mean, I think the belief that it's not addictive and that it's safe. I think a big part of the problem with young people is that the perception of risk in using marijuana has gone way down, and that there is risk involved, and there is particularly risk involved for young people in terms of how it's going to affect them in the future, how it affects their performance in school or in work, and how it affects their social lives. So it's not. It certainly is not without risk, and particularly not without risk for young people. And I think that's that's one of the saddest things about this, is that we've done this with it seems that how this is going to affect our young people has not been a particularly large part of the debate.